All right, everyone. Here we are. Finally, the maintenance is over. Reset has arrived, along with a new Nova and Raid finally being back. Now, this video is going to be about the new Nova. I'm going to be explaining what everything that you need to know and the team that I use, and obviously showing you the AI from my team as well. And yeah, so let's get straight over it. So the new Nova is going to be the Shrine of Frigidity, and it's going to be here every single Wednesday. So yeah, so it's going to be a new Nova for Wednesday basically, and obviously currently it's here for 9 days because it just arrived. And make sure before I go to the Nova to go to missions, to go to limited, and then clear the beginner stage, like any beginner stages 5 times, clear intermediate stages 5 times as well, advanced stages 5 times, and then pro stages also 5 times to get the burst score. We actually do get a burst score just for clearing pro, not even extreme or Nova. You can also clear extreme to get 3 what are they called again, whatever those are. And yeah, and so there's but anyway, burst score very, very important. So yeah, make sure to do those missions to get the burst score. Anyway, so let's get straight into Nova. Now I'm going to be explaining to you what is needed for this Nova and what exactly is happening. So for me to do that, I'm going to go into the stage to actually show you. And nope, that's Friday Nova. There we go, Wednesday Nova. So as you just saw, I share on my team, so if you want to just add me, copy me, it's all up to you. I don't mind. So what you're looking for is you want a shielder in the first, well, not in the first slot, but that's just my way. You want a shielder in the first slot, a support in the second slot, a DPS in the third slot, and a other support in the fourth slot. And when I say support, I mean damage buffers, but also most importantly archgeners. So a shooter is extremely important. And when I say shooter, I mean shooter and not a taunt tank. Because unfortunately, a taunt tank in this stage is dying. They are dying. Best Toma doesn't matter. Gamagori doesn't matter. Kirisame does not matter. They are dying. Because in the third wave, the shield is absolutely negated. So there's no shield whatsoever. So your taunt tank is just dying. And in the last stage, the last wave, sorry, the boss is a taunt tank killer. So taunt tank does not work. So you're gonna need a shielder. However, as I just said, in wave 3 there is also a shield negator. So basically it just ignores any shield, meaning you also need a healer. Now Madoka is my tiny healer, as you might want to call it, but the main sort of healing in a way is my free run. Now free run is here to provide the all status up, which counts as heal. It is only up to 6 stacks, 60% basically, but it's more than enough, which I will show you. And yeah, so Madoka is here for the shields, but also more. There's so much to explain for this Nova. The team that I'm using is just it's actually really good. I'm really happy with this team. However, Okrun the last stage, even though that the boss is water, the last wave is actually going to get earth resistance. Now obviously if you main Okrun, then you know full well that it's probably not a big deal. It unfortunately is. He actually does get a lot of earth resistance, which does break which it's kind of annoying because it does not allow you to use Okrun, but he is still usable with a team like this. So but Okrun is actually replaceable by any DPS that is not earth. So yeah, so anyway, there's so much to explain. I'm just gonna get into it, but before I do, equips, very important. So Madoka's bow needs some archgen, very important. I genuinely don't know what heal equip I need to put on there, so just whatever, just throw whatever. And then of course 4-star support equip, just archgen. Then right, I can actually change that. So Wednesday Nova, I can use this equip because my free run is not using it anymore. Ta-da! There we go. So now free run now SG Lisa is using this equip, which I actually want to save before I forget that. So there we go. All right, so now that that's saved, basically, of course, you just want equips that gives a lot of archgen or as much archgen as possible, while also providing buffs and whatever else they need. So support equips applies for everyone. Just we got Holy Emblem, damage for spirits and humans, then Fake Night Lions, physical damage up, and Leon's One Piece, a lot of archgen, blah blah blah. But then very importantly, there's Frostbane. you need freeze resistance in this stage. And this equip does give the freeze resistance. I don't have Sestina's Fravy Whale or whatever it's called. So this is my equip. Now it says here, increases damage taken by 15%, which is terrible. So basically, my Freeman will take 15% more damage for 120 seconds, which stacks. But, in case you don't know, if we go to Freeman right here, her skill, heal status element, and randomly restores 1 damage uptake in effect from the party. So the ones that she puts on herself, she cleanses it, and Madoka, with her super arts, also does that. So, no need to worry about that. So this equip, I actually got it, it's from the mines, so if you have this equip, definitely try to use it. SG Lisa is here to give equip CT speed so that we can just use all those equips. We get more arch gen. Keep this up because it has a 20 seconds with a 30 second. Well, no, 30 seconds uptime, but I almost have it LB5. Yeah, so let's just get into the stage so that I can explain it better. I'm not gonna play. I'm just gonna be full auto. I'm just gonna be explaining along the way as it is going. So what I do, I will be showing my AI at the end of the video, by the way, or at the end of this stage, whatever. So what I do is Okrun is going to true arch the entire match except on wave 4. Freerin is as usual. She is going to use her true arch to get the arch gen going, then use her arch 2 or 3 times, then use her true arch again, then use her arch 2 or 3 times again, and then we have max stacks for her normal arch, and then she just switch over between super arch and true arch. Madoka is going to true arch as much as she can, and super arch, basically true arch, super arch, and then she will use her arch as well in the last wave because that's where we actually need it because shields. So as you can see, the second wave and the first wave were very quick, very easy. Then you don't have to worry about anything in the first and second wave except for freeze res. So don't worry about that. However, in the third wave, the boss actually gets physical. So not everything, but physical evasion. So you're going to need some magic DPSs out there or just some magic damage out there to allow you to deal damage. But you still need physical damage as well or just any kind of damage. As you can see here, let's just go to the log. It says right there, physical evasion rate up and then physical evasion rate up again. And it says here, wave 3 cancels damage negation, which means no shields. If there's a shield, it will just disappear. And then as you can see there, hold up again, magic resistance. So you need physical and magical, not DPSs, but just physical and magical damage to clear the stage. So as you can see, my team is doing a lot of damage as she leads out super arch, giving every one magic damage up. And of course, Freeman giving all status up, which increases attack. And then Okrun is actually not being a DPS here, he's being a support. He is just true arching, giving everyone attack up, and yeah, everyone physical damage up, but nobody's benefiting from that except himself. So, but everybody is benefiting from the attack up. So as you can see, there you go, stage cleared, no problem. Now wave 4 is where it gets a bit troublesome, because wave 4 is extremely tanky unless you break. But Okrun does not care, and with his super arch, he will just about 60% just destroys the boss, because that's just how Okrun works. I've tried this with other units, and they just don't deal the same damage. I don't know what kind of, what Okrun is doing, but nobody's doing the same damage as him. So what I do is, on the 4th wave, I just super arch with Okrun twice, which kills the boss. But otherwise, you're gonna need to break a little bit to actually deal a lot of damage. But yeah, otherwise nothing noteworthy about wave 4 as well. Now wave 5, that's the last wave. This is where things start to get a little bit risky, tricky, whatever you want to call it. So let's just go to the log. As you can see here in wave 4, it says here more break, more damage taken, and equips basically don't do anything there. But yeah, all you have to worry about is just killing the boss. And if you can't kill it, if you don't have Okrun, just use a breaker. But then again, how are you going to build your team? If you need help with that, just join the Discord server and I will see what I can do. Anyway, now we're on wave 5. Wave 5, as it says here, shield killer. Basically means taunt killer. It's very weirdly explained because shield killer sounds like as if you're destroying everyone who has a shield. No, that's not how it works. It's just taunt killer. And reflection, yeah, don't worry about that. Damage taken up during burn. Now this is actually really important. I am not using this mechanic of using burn because I don't really have anybody who burns, a good unit who burns, and neither, I do have equips, I just don't want to use them. So maybe I should actually try to see my team with with burn equips, but for now let's just not do it, assuming that you don't have any either, or assuming that you don't want to use any. And then target the units that inflicts the highest damage and crit rate up to that target. So of course the one who is dealing the most damage will take increased damage from this boss. Now what I'm doing here is Okun is just true arching because that is currently what my DPS, well not DPS, is doing. And then Frieren, Ezreal, and Madoka are my DPSs in this stage, because as soon as we hit that first mark, which we are about to hit right now, Earth Resistance up. It only happens once, but it is more than enough for Okun to not deal damage anymore. He does deal a little bit of damage, but if you want to rely on Okun being the DPS or any Earth unit, it's going to take much longer. Because look, as you can see here, Okun has done 28 million damage, which is from all the previous stages, but that is just gonna go extreme. He's dealing 1 damage. He's dealing 1 damage, but everybody else on the team is not, because obviously they're not Earth. And even though that none of these are DPSs, Ezreal isn't the DPS, Madoka isn't DPS, and neither is Frieren, they are still doing a lot of damage because they're buffing each other like crazy. Because light is just awesome. I just love light. Light is the best element in this game. That's just my opinion. Anyway, so as you can see, they're all doing fine. But this can be done with any other element. You just need to ensure that you have a shielder slash healer in the first slot, or whatever slot, and then you have a support on the second and fourth slot, and then a DPS on the third slot, or of course everybody, like this scene where everybody just buffs themselves around. The reason I am not dying in the first few waves is because Frieren and Madoka gives that 100%. I'll set us up. Frieren gets 60 and Madoka gives 40 to the entire team. That is a total of 100% more attack, more defense, and more HP. And simply because of that, I don't need to use my Arts of Madoka on those first few waves, because we're not dying anyways. But when it comes to the last stage, honestly, I think I don't even need to use it then. I think I can just swap between True Arts and Super Arts on the last wave, because I don't think we need that shield. But then again, I don't really have a healer, and as you can see, that healing gets lower, and we're not getting any heals anymore from, or pseudo heals anymore from Frieren. So the barrier is always a safety net. You know, it's always worth having that safety net. So yeah, shielder in the first slot, and Madoka is both a shielder and a healer, a very small healer, but still a healer. And then look at this, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 2 minutes and 14 seconds. That's how long it took me with this team. And that's basically, now that you understand how this stage works, I'm going to go over my AI so that I can go a little bit more in depth. So yeah, so at least, look, this video is here to, show you and explain to you what you need. But the things that are noteworthy about today's Nova, or not today's Nova, but this Wednesday Nova, is freeze resistance and being careful with wave 3 and wave 5 and not using a taunt tech. So let's just go over the AIs. So we got Madoka here, Wednesday Nova. So as you can see here, I use my True Arts in wave 1 and 2. Because that's all she needs to do. And then in wave 3 till 4, we are swapping around between True Arts and Super Arts to get that all status up. A little bit of cleanse whenever we need it, which we never do. And Super Arts for the crit rate up and crit damage up. Now, as you saw in case you missed it, in the wave 5, so in the last wave, at the end, the boss gets crit resistance, so you don't need to crit anymore. Crit is pointless, so you just need to focus on damage then. Anyway, so between wave 3 and 4, I'm just swapping out with True Arts and Super Arts so that all of us get increased damage. That's it. And also, of course, that we, stay tanky, stay survival. And then on the last wave, I swap around between Arts, True Arts, and Super Arts. Arts for the shield, True Arts for the all status up, and then Super Arts for the little bit of damage, which eventually gets useless because we don't need crit rate and crit damage after the last point. But then again, it also does cleanse the damage resist down, which we still need, and because of that we're not dying. Madoka is just such a good unit. She just does everything. And of course we need to use the skill so that we get heals and we get or herself gets Archen, and then of course equips. So that's my Madoka AI. Now let's get over to my Ezreal AI. Ezreal very simple, just True Arts, and if she has enough Arts to super arts within 50 seconds of last time using her true arts. She can just super arts and then just, you know, swap around that and then just use your equips. No, like, there's no restrictions or whatever. You just don't worry about it. And then, of course, equips, you know, just getting that as much Archgen as possible. In case you don't know what this equip does, 80 Archgen for the third time and then 30 Archgen every single time after that with a 45 seconds cooldown. Holy Emblem, 30-30, human spirit damage up, very nice. And then Peace Rod, you know, as you know, skill city speed, I need a better one, but 20-40 could be better, but it's not too bad. And yeah, that's my Ashley Lisa. Now Okrun, as I said before, nope. Wednesday Nova, he is true arching every single wave until wave 4. On wave 4 he is doing super arch twice, and then on the last wave he is going back to just true arching. And yeah, that's basically Okrun. And then Freerun is the most complicated one. Nope. Wednesday Nova, there we go. So she is using a true arch for the first time. After she uses a true arch, she is going to arch 3 times. After she arched 3 times, she is going to true arch again, but only for 1 more time. Then after that, she is going to arch 3 more extra times, which makes a total of 6. And I know it says 5, but 5 basically means 6. It's super stupid. I don't know how to explain, but that's how it works. Just trust me. So anyway, and then she has used her arch a total of 6 times after using her true arch at least twice. And then after that, she is after, you know, using her arch at least 5 times, she is just going to use her true arch every 10 seconds because down it only lasts for 20 seconds and her true arch alone takes about 10 seconds. So, and then if she does get the chance, she can super arch whenever, you know, she gets the chance. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is my Freerun. And then most importantly, what's very important on Freerun is the equip you need. Okay, wait, this is actually really bad because even if you do have Freerun, you might not have her LB7. So you might need to have someone with either flinch res or an equip with freeze resistance, because I just realized Freerun doesn't have a defense slot. She only has it at LB7. That's why I used 2 expert LB stones on her. That was so worth it. If you are thinking about making Freerun LB7, yeah, totally do it. It's so good. It is so good. This defense slot right here as Freerun is so useful. Anyway, back to the video. So yeah, like, I don't know, there are units out there that are DPS, like for example Momo or Stark. Even they are both like high damage dealers that have a defense slot, and so you got to work your way around it. This team is just here to help you guys give an idea of how to build your own team. You probably don't have the same units as me, or you even have, you know, even better units. Of course, look, I don't have the best units in the game, which is why I'm using this team, because I don't have the best units in the game. I could probably clear this way quicker, maybe less than 2 minutes, but I just don't have the units, so I have to make up for it. And I'm very happy that I don't have those units, because of that, I have to come up with better ideas on how to clear the stage. And because of that, I can make this video and give you ideas on how to clear the stage. Because if you just, you know, let's just see. If we go here, and we just see, let's see, what's the best team? Ignore the first one. So like Roy, Hoka, Saitama, and Okrun. Roy, Hoka, Beta, Okrun. Roy, Hoka, you know, Saitama, Okrun. So I have Hoka. How did this guy cleared with Toma? Okay, you know what? I don't care. Look, if he can, he can. You know what? That's great for you. Anyway, so as you can see here, Roy. You see Roy almost everywhere. You see Saitama. Oops. You see Saitama as well. So I don't have Roy. I don't have Saitama. I don't have Fen. I do have Hoka. I do have Okrun. But first of all, Freerun is better than Hoka. That's just, you know, that's just, I just want to throw it out there. But secondly, oh, look at this. This I really like this team. Platina, Saitama, Roy, and how is he? Oh, Saitama gives damage resist and barrier. Yeah, that's great. That's a great team. Okay, anyway, so yeah, as you can see, there's these top tier teams, and I don't have those units. So unfortunately, I have to make my own, and that's why I'm making these kind of teams. And I think Madoka is perfect here. Echidita is just for the equips, because I need this equip to be up at all times, and that's impossible without equip CT speed. And Freerun, 100% defense ignore, all status up, make sure that the team doesn't die. Beautiful arch gen, and very nice damage. and you know, just a little bit of everything. So now at least you know what I am using. You know, I'm using a support, I'm using two supports, I'm using a tank, I'm using a DPS, or whatever you want to call Ogrun in this stage, and you just try to figure out what you can use instead. Of course, this stage is not for everyone. It's a Nova stage, meaning it's end game. If you can't clear it, it's fine, don't worry about it. If you just want a full clear, ask for help. Just, you know, allow people to help you, but there's no need to farm it. If you don't have 4 pluses, you shouldn't be farming this anyways. And yeah, that's basically going to be it about today's Nova. I just want to explain my team and give you an idea on how to build your own team. I really hope this video helped. And that's going to be, you know, that's going to be all. So thank you much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great day. Well, alright guys, I'll see you later. Goodbye.